Okay, that's that initial setup over with. You can see our starting scores are listed on this piece of paper, and all the rules we needed to play the game are in the last part. We'll see how long it takes me to completely mess things up and get things wrong and play the game wrong, and where I should have died I didn't. Probably won't take too long. Okay, so without further ado, let's get on to the game. The rain splatters on the windscreen relentlessly. You can see no more than a watery gloom as you strain forward over the steering wheel to see the road ahead. Although the wipers flay valiantly, they are fighting a losing battle. As the rain drives harder and harder, your foot eases off the accelerator. The headlights struggle to light up the road. Damn! You curse the white-haired old man who sent you along this bumpy track. Probably he meant the second turning on the left, or even a right turning. The old fool. Perhaps this is his idea of a joke. After all, didn't you notice something like a mischievous glint in his eye? Something vaguely sinister. But what sort of nonsense is this? So you've taken a wrong turn and you've got caught in a downpour. It's night time. The rain will ease off soon. It can't possibly keep up this deluge for long. And then you'll be able to... Watch out! You spin the wheel frantically to the left to avoid the figure who came from nowhere. He shows up in the headlights. The car bumps and jolts and bounces all over the rocky roadside and thumps into a ditch. You collect your thoughts. You are unhurt. You're shaken, of course. But then you remembered what happened. The body. You must have hit at the figure which appeared. There was no way you could have avoided him. You spring out of the car, praying he's still alive. Your clothes soak up the rain as you hobble back to the road. In the darkness, it is difficult to see anything. There's no sign of a body, though. You consider the situation. You are certain that it was someone, and not a trick of light, yes? You can remember the arms held up in fright as the car collided, and the look of anguish on his face. His face, there was something familiar about that face. A man, you recognized him. It was the old man, the man with white hair. Your heart leaps. No, impossible. With a shiver of fear, you race back to the car, jump inside and force the key into the ignition and twist it violently. The starter coughs, splutters, and then dies. You hit the key again, but this time not a single shudder. The engine is dead. You grasp the wheel with your hands and shake it desperately as if to force some life back into the car. But the battery is dead. The car is certainly not budging from the ditch tonight. Your situation is hopeless. But now the plight of the car is paramount. Where can you get help? You passed a garage in Mingleford, but that was some 20 miles ago. As if in answer, a light appears in the distance. Someone has switched on a bedroom light. What a stroke of luck. It was at least 15 miles back that you passed the last house, and you happen to have broken down just some short distance from someone's home. You button up your coat and open the door. From inside the car, you can see a building more clearly. Just ahead, on the left, a drive winds up to the large house. It's a good 5 minutes walk away, and by the time you reach it, you will be drenched. But what else can you do? Can you call the garage? You can't afford to miss tomorrow's appointment. No. Go you must. Anyway, you'll probably be able to dry off inside after phoning the garage. You slam the door, turn up the collar on your coat and set off to the house. A flash of lightning lights it up clearly for you, but your perception is off with the rain. The warning from the above is wasted on you. The warning from above is wasted upon you. I'm not entirely sure what that warning is. The house is old, very old, and in a shocking state of repair. The light in the window is flickering, most likely an oil lamp, certainly not electric. And you don't notice a fact that may have helped you turn back. There is no telephone line coming from the house. As you climb the steps to the front door, little do you realize what fate has in store for you. Tonight is going to be a night to remember. We have a picture of the house here. Doesn't seem like one you'd want to go into, even in the sort of dire circumstances that this gentleman finds himself in, or I suppose we find ourselves in. You climb the creaking steps up to the front door and pause to catch your breath. Even though you ran all the way up from the drive from the car, you were soaked through. Your feet are particularly wet. Judging by the number of puddles you stepped in the dark, the drive needs a small fortune spent on it for repairs. But under the porch, you are out of the storm, and you brush the rain from your clothes before turning towards the door. The rain is still pelting down, but an eerie silence hangs in the air. No lights are on downstairs. You step back off the porch and check the upstairs window. Which attracted your attention earlier. Nothing. No lights. The whole place seems to have been deserted. But then you remember the time. 5 minutes to midnight. Everyone in the house has probably gone to bed. An owl hoots in the distance, and a shiver runs down your spine. The situation is a little scary. Here you are in the middle of nowhere, at some strange run-down old house, about to wake up whoever lives inside at midnight. They certainly won't be too pleased. But you have no choice if you're going to make your appointment tomorrow. You must reach a telephone to call for help. You step up to the front door. From the left-hand side of the house, a dull glow catches your attention. A light has been turned on. You breathe a sigh of relief. At least someone is awake. You consider your options. There's an elaborate knocker in the door, and a bell pull hanging down to the right. Will you rap the door with the knocker, or pull the cord, or creep around the house to investigate? Now, at this point you have 3 choices to make, and seeing as we are playing this all as fate allows, the options that when we get them will be divided up like this. So if there are 4 options, I will roll 4-sided dice. 2 options, I will flip a coin, stuff like that. Yeah, you get me? Or I think Alexa can even roll a 2-sided dice, that's not a problem. So there are 3 options here, and that is rap the knocker, pull the cord, or creep around. So we're going to roll a 3-sided dice, which I think would be difficult to exist, but let's try it. Alexa, roll a 3-sided dice.
3.
Okay, so we're going to creep around the house to investigate the light. Turn to page 289. You walk from the porch around the side of the house. A light is indeed on, and it's shining through the window at the back of the building. Do you wish to go around and see if anything is at the window, or will you walk up one of the other windows along the side to see whether you can enter the house without anyone knowing? So, for 1, we will see if there's anything in the window, and 2, we'll walk around the side of the house to see if we can get in without anyone knowing. Alexa, roll a 2-sided dice.
1.
1. We are going to see anything at this window. 3, 4, 5. There we go. Ooh, we look in through the window. We get some artwork here. Seems to be some bread and some other utensils. A couple of pans hanging on the wall. The lit window is next to the back door, which leads into a kitchen. Voices are coming from the kitchen, but you cannot see anyone. Whoever is in there must be standing by the back wall, out of sight. You strain to hear what is being said. There appear to be 2 people in the kitchen, and they're talking excitedly. Master is getting ready. I'm starting to get excited. I've never been to this one before. Do you really think we may be visited? Another man's voice, rather more controlled, replies, You know I'm having doubts about this whole affair. She is so young, and she came here in all innocence. I just don't know. The 2 men walk around the kitchen, and you can see them more clearly. They are both dressed in white gowns. One is a good deal younger than the other. Do you wish to knock on the door and see if they will let you in, or will you wait and listen for a little longer? Alexa, roll a two-sided dice.
2.
So we're going to listen for a little longer, which is 68. The younger man turns to the older one and angrily says, "The master's teachings are not for the faint-hearted. You know of his power and his promises to us all. Perhaps you are no longer strong enough to stay with us." The older man turns away towards the window. He's hiding the look on his face, which is one of nervousness and fear. He realizes that he said something wrong. "No," he stammers. "I'll be all right. Just a momentary weakness. Come on, let us get on with preparations." Together, the two men leave the kitchen, blowing out the candles on the way. You wonder what they were talking about. You must now choose your next move. Will you try the kitchen door and see whether you can sneak inside, or go round back to the front door and try and knock on the door? Alexa, roll a two-sided dice.
2.
So we're going to go back to the front door. 357. You consider your best plan is to walk down the... I think I've done this wrong. Let's go back to 68. Bear with me. 357. I changed to 257. A few moments later, the door handle turns slowly and the door opens. Standing in the doorway is a tall man dressed in a dark suit with tails. His face is long and solemn. "Yes?" he asks indignantly. You smile nervously and explain your situation. Your car is broken down and you need a telephone. You are soaked to the skin. The man's face remains expressionless. "Come in," he orders. "The master is expecting you." "Follow me." He leads you into a reception hall and tells you to sit down while he informs the master of your arrival. So, we are in the door. I'm going to end things here. We'll pick up in the next segment. We are on part 8. So I'll make sure to put a little bookmark in there, which I don't have a bookmark on me, but I can find one. There we go. Perfect bookmark. We are on 8. I'll mark a little thing at the top here. We're on page 8, so that we know where we're going. And we'll pick this up a little later on, maybe today or tomorrow. And we'll see how we fare in the house. Thank you all for watching, and good night.